Welcome to our podcast dedicated to business assurance. I'm Stefan Buliga. Uh, I'm the head of business assurance solutions and consulting practice at Subex. Together with me today, I have Sumesh Nair. Sumesh is director of revenue assurance, audit, fintech compliance, project delivery, business assurance, risk and fraud management at Ooredoo Myanmar. Welcome, Sumesh.
Hi, Stefan.
As part of my somehow long journey in assurance for telecoms, I've been able to witness different turns of the domain. Now we're witnessing a turn towards business assurance, which started quite some time back, right? But now we are seeing this transformation taking shape. With more and more operators initiating the journey, while others are quite ahead on this transformation journey towards business assurance. We're having you today, Sumesh, a seasoned professional in risk and assurance, to speak with you about your own journey towards business assurance. So with this, I'm starting, I will start asking you, how crucial do you believe it is for telecom operators to shift their focus from revenue assurance to business assurance? What factors are driving this transformation? In your opinion, of course.
I will go with my opinion. I think business assurance is going to play a crucial role in the going forward future. Whereas when you talk about revenue assurance, it is mostly talking about leakages, controls. But I think now the way the telecom industry is going from a transformation where you have OTT player, where management is more talking about maximization. They are talking about the process. They are talking about customer satisfaction, operational efficiency. I think then the revenue assurance controls and revenue assurance mechanisms are outdated. We need to change our focus. We need to change ourselves. We need to transform ourselves. When we talk about that business is transforming, it is not only the business, but the department, the people who are working in the department need to be transformed. And that transformation, I feel, is the business assurance. And it is very crucial in terms because currently now every business heads or business units are measured on the basis of their return, their operational efficiency, how they're contributing to the business. And I feel like that revenue assurance is a smaller part of business assurance. Business assurance plays a major and a bigger crucial role in terms of operational efficiency, helping in brand building, not only in revenue maximization, but it also help us to bring a larger risk, I should say risk appetitus into the department. So I feel business need to transform. As early as they transform, it will be better for their organization. They will have a benefit of as a beginner. Later or sooner, you need to change. Otherwise, you will be outdated and you will be out of the market.
Thank you. This is quite a thoughtful answer, Sumesh. And yes, we're taking that only the change is constant in universe, right? So we are in a continuous transformation, right? Everything flows. And of course, revenue assurance and risk professionals for telecoms are not accepted from this, right? And actually, you mentioned about some of the changes which business assurance are bringing. I wanted to elaborate a bit on that, if possible, right? To understand better how business assurance differs from revenue assurance in terms of approach, on one hand.
If you want me to elaborate, I give or approach, or I will should say that how the management has understood the importance of business assurance. Few years, I should say, like it's been 3-4 years in Ooredoo Myanmar I'm working. 2 years back, when we talk about analytics, when we talk about giving insight to the management, it was very limited and it was up to certain level only. But in last 6 months, 7 months, the way we have transformed ourselves, we given the insight to the management. I will say that we have only picked small bits, small changes. We try to provide management how the revenue is moving and some of the products which are cannibalizing our products. and we given certain insights on the cost factor. There the management has understood the importance of business assurance, and it was like that it is only a niche, I should say. It's a very big thought in our organization. The CFO and CEO understand the importance of the business assurance, and they given us a go ahead to start a business assurance. And it was surprising that even now group have understood that importance. Now every CFO has a 10% of their KPI as a part of revenue assurance, which will be talking about profitability maximization, cost optimization. We had a project called War on Waste, where we talk about cost optimization. For last 3 years, there was no revenue assurance team member in that project. And this year, like, we got a surprise. I got a surprise back when I got an email from my CEO and CFO saying that you will be the one of the project lead for the War on Waste, and you should ensure that how you can contribute towards the cost optimization of the organization. Though it is only the one part of business assurance, I will say that. But at the end of the day, management and the business started understanding that now revenue assurance is playing a little big role here, other than from the old traditional mechanism, or I should say old traditional controls. Teams are working in some of the programs where customer are been like analyzed, how their loyalty towards the brand, how they consider our services when we compare with our other operators or our competitors. Revenue assurance is giving them the insight from a data analytics point of view, which kind of products they are using, what kind of their usage is there, what kind of sites they are using. So such kind of importance. And I will give you one more insight, is that the CEO is now asking revenue assurance to be part of every business discussion, which talks about the profitability, which talks about cost. Earlier the product was approved by finance team only. Now it is mandatory that revenue assurance need to do a in-depth analysis, give insight to the management. And there is one special program which is going on as a part of business assurance. We do analysis of the products which are launched in the market. It like more of a marginal assurance, but it comes under the business assurance only. And management is regularly reviewing. There is a regular review between our CEO, CFO, giving insight that how products are working, how we can cost optimize that. If product is not profitable, how can we derive value out of that product? What will be the best way we can add value to the organization, value to our customers, value to the nation, value to the society? So all these things are taken into consideration, and I think it took certain some time for our organization to understand. But when they understand, it is going in a full swing. And the best part is that it is not only revenue assurance which is driving this department. It is like that I have got people from finance, various places, like from accounting, from budgeting, from a reporting team, so that they can help us. So we are trying to build a collaborative kind of team where the skill sets can be developed, so that tomorrow this department can be brought into a other level, which we are talking about business insight process, where every insight will go from the finance team rather than coming from a business team. Accurate data, more structured reporting to provide insight to the management in the best possible manner, so that it will add value to the organization.
I take from your answer, Sumesh, that actually the introduction of business assurance produced quite a shift into the way the whole revenue assurance is functioning and working with the other teams, right? Not only checking them, right? So being the controller of the processes and so on, but actually being a partner in the way of acting and adding value to the business, right? This is quite interesting that you are speaking now from the first person being involved and driving all these changes. And I think this is valuable for us and for our listeners to this podcast. One of the aspects which are changing, right, because it means that you are adding value, whether you are looking for profits, optimization of costs, optimization of revenues, right, means that the value metrics are changing. And this is the next point I'd like you to tell us a bit. How do the return on investment and other value metrics are changing when transitioning from RA to BA? I think you have mentioned something already about the key areas of your CFOs, right? Have 10% on business assurance. Just if you could elaborate more on this,
So
would be great.
on this, okay, Stefan, I just give you one example. Last year we have some frauds because Southeast Asian countries are prone to very much frauds because of the lack of regulatory controls here. So when I came here, I observed that there was no kind of a process where you can penalize the vendors. So there we started this process. So in revenue assurance, when you talk about controls, you identify leakages, you tell to the management, you tell that the issue has been closed, this is the amount of leakages. But what is the impact on the brand? What is the impact on the customer? What is the impact on your revenue? How are you going to recover this revenue? Is that the mistake of your organization or is the mistake of a vendor? These things are never covered in a revenue assurance. So we started this thing. We went a step ahead. We defined the process. We started with like that. We started, so it's like a revenue assurance plus a business assurance. So in revenue assurance, we identify leakages and RCA, and then we try to find out how can we ensure that such leakages which impact our brand cannot happen. Let penalize the vendor. So the debit note concept came up, which was never there. My management was surprised to see that that I started raising number of debit notes. I said that it need to be penalized. Another area which I will talk about is that cost. Cost in the sense when we talk about product profitability, my finance team only was taking into consideration commissions and some of the network cost which were taking. So I will say that here I was very much got benefit from the Subex also. I have gone through your one of the seminars on the business assurance and marginal assurance some time back. So there I have certain insights on that how we should look into the profitability analysis and how you should approach to the product or services when you go for a full analysis, whether it is a profitable or it is a loss. At that concept we introduce here also in OML Ooredoo. What we done is that we taken into considering various other factors like the cost you pay to the vendors for developing a product. Now, okay, cost is already there, but is that cost can be in-housed or outsourced? If it is outsourced, what will be the way you can negotiate with the vendor to reduce that? If it can be in-housed, how it can be done? So here the mix of revenue assurance and business assurance came, because revenue assurance never talk about in-house other than their controls and their activities. But here we were talking about in-housing the whole configuration mechanism, which was driven by some other department. So here we brought the professional efficiency. We tell them, boss, if certain things can be in-housed, certain things can be built in the organization, why you are depending on the vendors? If the systems are there, the peoples are there, capabilities there, it is only that you need an approach and you need a process. So that KRA started building up, and we started building some of the controls or some of the products in-house, which saved a lot of money for us. Management also got some kind of confidence on us that yes, the team is capable of that, which was not visible in the past. Another area which I will say that a lot of products which was coming in the market, where when we do an in-depth analysis, we found that the revenue was like less than $1 from the customers. Even so management wanted that how can we make, how can you go out? So we came with so many different ways of solutions. So like some of them were app based product where we were doing some kind of our we were engaging with some other apps where we're selling our products. So we said that if they're exclusive partner, why don't you use their apps for sharing the data information that how many customers are using this, and in return you should have a advertisement of our product on that, our running product. So it will save money also. At the same time, it is an alternative digital channel for your advertisement. This concept was never known, and that has actually, when we presented to the management last week, we have two individual apps which were running in Myanmar now going to have our exclusive ads on the front page. So these things I think has came up when you transform your thinking. See, when we talk about transformation, it is not only you physically ready for transformation, but your mentally should be ready for transformation, because sometimes management accept it, sometimes management reject it. So you should be mentally prepared for that, that if that things are accepted, well and good. If not, then we need to put more efforts. So I think revenue assurance need to do that transformation. And I think the way that cruciality is changing, the existence of revenue assurance old controls, or I should say the controls which they are carrying out from the past, are no value. The way
Mm,
the products are changing, if you talk about OTT, single payment,
mm,
why you need a subscriber reconciliation, why you need a recharge reconciliation, why you need a usage reconciliation when I'm giving everything unlimited? Then what will be the value of RA? What value RA can bring? Then you need to transform your way, you need to think from the business point of view. And that's why I think that even the skill sets of RA in that area need to be transformed. Now when we talk about earlier RA, we need people from financial areas who are very good in data analytics. Yeah, people still needed in data analytics, but now people are needed from different backgrounds. Those who have a very good knowledge about business, those who have very good knowledge about risk management, those have a very good knowledge about the changing dynamics, how the future will change, how the business will change, so that we can be ready to face that uncertainty. Actually, I think most of the RA heads were not prepared for the uncertainty when they came to know the unlimited product. They were only working on the old methodology of revenue assurance, doing HLR reconciliation, rating reconciliation. And those who were prepared themselves for the eventuality and for the transformation, they're succeeding. A lot of
mm.
RA guys have phased out. If you see a lot of mergers and acquisition, if you see companies are now doing mergers and acquisition, people who are not updated with the changing transformation or changing business requirements, they are being phased out. And I have seen that in my old company when the merger of Vodafone Idea took place. A lot of people who are not ready for transformation, ready for change, they've been wiped out.
It's true that that is managing change, right, and managing it actively, the way you're saying. It is one of the key skill sets which were required nowadays, right, in
Yes.
whichever domain. But more and more, exactly as you said, the transformation of the focus of revenue assurance and changing the way the controls are performed and how they are being changed, right? Were showing, if I understood correctly from your answer, right, not only the leakages, but also the contribution to the business through
Yeah.
those ads, for example, what you have mentioned. You are able to actually introduce a new business model, right? You are also adding skin in the game, let's put it like this, for your vendors who you are making them responsible for different mishaps which are either impacting the financial side or is impacting customer experience. And I understand you are bringing these two together in your calculation, let's put it like this, of your added value of your initiatives under business assurance, right? And this is quite insightful, I would say, for me, but also I believe for other colleagues in the community who would be interested to find out more and also put it in their own experience. You have mentioned the skill sets, right? And you have mentioned the different mindset required for business assurance, right? Not only the typical kind of auditing approach to the processes and to the data, but also thinking from a larger perspective. And I wanted you to elaborate on that, right? And to detail what kind of upskilling or training, right? If it is to get into more details, do you think is necessary for telecom operators to effectively evolve from RA to BA?
I agree with you, Stefan, that as early as possible, the organization transform themselves from a revenue assurance to business assurance. because I think revenue assurance is more about the leakages and control. It's never talk about return on investment maximization other than the operational efficiency and automation. So I think people need to be upgraded. People need to be trained. Training from the subject matter expertise like you, who can give more insight to the people who are working in this particular projects like business assurance, not only for the people who are working at a lower level but at the top level also, so that they can understand the actual meaning and purpose and objective of business assurance, so that it create a value addition to the organization. We are trying our level best. We started with a small projects where we are doing some lean reporting for the finance to avoid the dual reporting or error reporting. At the same time, we are working on the profitability, where we are bringing different type of people from different segments, different departments and different subjects, so that we can add value to our analytics, bring operational efficiency. And we are able to do that. Management have seen our analysis, and the way the things are put in front of them, it's quite significant, and they accept that. So I agree with you. We need training in this area. People's need to be developed. People need to be trained. People need to be understand the future of business assurance, because unless until your process and objective of business assurance are not clear, you cannot transform and you cannot get the right skill of people.
There must have been some quite interesting meetings, I believe, having people from different parts of the organization and infusing your business assurance teams with different points of view, right? It is quite interesting that you have managed to actually gather people from different parts and have this kind of conversation in order to actually bring more hands-on experience for different areas, whether it is marketing or even more core finance, let's say. But in that way, as I understand from you, these are some areas where upskilling and training is required to get out and or actually go beyond the typical RE mindset focused on goals to be executed and so on. This was quite insightful conversation, Sumesh. Just one last question, right? What advice, and actually during the conversation you have provided a few advices. One final advice which you would have on the colleagues in our community of business assurance professionals who would like to implement or plan for such a transformation?
Stefan, to answer your question, I feel that it's my personal opinion that rather than going in a full gamut of business assurance, you should start with small bits of 1 or 2 projects where you think you have better skill sets and you are expertise. By giving your expertise advice, that will bring operational efficiency to the organization, cost optimization. It can be a product profitability, it can be a automation which help in improving your operations efficiency, help in customer satisfaction. It can also changing a report format so that it reduce the error in financial reporting. So my suggestion should be that you should start with 1 or 2 projects, try your best, give whatever you have, and try before going to the management, have a multi-level discussion with the various level people, various department, to get their insights, get a feedback what they are seeing. That will help you to improve. And then you finally go when you are prepared yourself with fully that yes, I'm ready now, I can present to the management. I think that will give a better opportunity to give a meaningful impact to the business, meaningful impact to the management, that yes, we can add value to the organization. We are not only revenue leakage identifier or a process or a audit, but we have transformed, we are ready to help business in their profit maximization, in operational efficiency. Maybe it can be a process. We can help you in building the products, and slowly steadily, once the things are built, you can bring more people into your department, not on your payroll, but it can be from different department who can help you in that operational or help you in understanding the meaning of business assurance, giving a bigger picture to the management. This is my approach, and we started with the same thing here in Ooredoo Myanmar also.
Thank you. Sumesh. That was quite helpful, and for me personally, it was a glimpse into quite an interesting experience of transformation involving not only the
Yes.
RA itself, but also involving the whole organization, which is quite interesting. I thank you very much for your contribution today for our conversation in the
It
business
was my
assurance.
pleasure.
And we're looking forward to other conversations as well. Thank you,
Sure,
Sumesh.
Stefan. It was nice talking to you. It was really good that Subex is creating such a platform where we can share our view. And really, it will be helpful when we have a community, when we have a discussion. That will help us also to improve our operations, help our own way forward for the business assurance. Thanks a lot. I think you people are doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your words, for your appreciation. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you,
Sure,
everyone.
sure, Stefan. Bye. Take care.